Let's begin with a simple exercise. Let's get into this. So the simple exercise is this. I want you to, again, get out a pen, paper. If you can write this down, that'd be great. If you know where you can write, maybe take out your phone, your Droid, and maybe just type it in your notepad and so you can follow along. Now, if you've done this exercise, just kind of take a mental break. But if you've never done this exercise, I want you to zoom in. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I just want you to answer them. Here's the first question I want you to do. I want you to think of a number. I want you to pick a number. Let me put my head down here some more. I want you to pick a number between, let's say, 2 and 10. Okay? Just pick a number between 2 and the number 10. Okay? Now I'm going to do this on my side so I don't get lost either. So pick a number between 2 and 10. If you got that, great. Now take that number and multiply it by 9. So I'm going to do it with you. Multiply it by 9. You got it? All right. Now, if you multiply it by 9, you should have a 2-digit number. What I want you to do is add those 2 digits together, and you should have a single-digit number. Right? Great. Now, from that single-digit number that you have, what I'd like you to do is subtract the number 5. So you should have a new single-digit number, right? Now, that number represents, the one you've come up with, that single-digit number represents a letter in the alphabet. So, for example, if you have 1, let me put this here. Let me go back. Sorry. So, in other words, that number should equate to a letter. So, if you have the number 1, write the letter A. 2, write the letter B. 3, C, 4, D, 5, E. You get the idea. Write the letter down. Got it? Perfect. Now, next, what I want you to do is I want you to think of a European country that begins with that letter. Think of a European country that begins with that letter. You got it? All right, next. What I want you to do is look at the second letter in that country. Look at the second letter in that country and then think of a large mammal. Just think of a large mammal that begins with that letter. All right? The last part here is I want you to write down the color of that mammal. So write down the color of the mammal. So again, pick a number between 2 and 10. Multiply it by 9, right? Add the 2 digits, right? Once you multiply by 9, add the 2 digits together. Subtract 5. You come up with a letter that equates to a country, right? A European country. Think of the country, look at the second letter, and then think of a large mammal. Now, tell me if this makes any sense. There are no gray elephants in Denmark. Hit me with a 1 if you got that. Okay? Gray elephants in Denmark. So let me see how many got it. Say it. A couple of people got it. There's a couple of dams. There you go. So if you got it, right? Now, here's what happened. I asked you a sequence of questions that had you arrive at a conclusion that I've already predetermined. In other words, I programmed all these questions to have you arrive at that conclusion, that it's a gray elephant. Now, it's a powerful concept because if you think about it, if I can ask the right questions, I can guide the conversation. This is what the best salespeople do, right? Ask good questions, develop good questions, guide them to where you want them to land. In this case, in your case, this would probably be a product or a service that you offer. And by asking the right questions, you're guiding them to product or service, or more importantly, the ideal features and services that you want to offer or sell them. Now, let's push further. My point here is that by asking the right questions, I can guide people to the conclusion I want them to arrive at, which is the gray elephant. Now, so step 1, guide them to your outcome. So if I know what I want to sell, remember, this is the beginning of the presentation. Let me give you a visual. If I'm starting my presentation here with the client, I'm already thinking where I want to land, which is right here, what I want the customer to think. My job then is to figure out what questions do I ask along the way to guide them to that conclusion. That's what we're talking about. I'm going to tie this all together, by the way, so just bear with me. I'm going to tie it all together. Number 2. Now, I want to highlight this. When we're selling, so step number 1 again, ask great questions. Number 2,